The world of exclusive gaming is a tough one for some of us. There are a lot of games that come out every year that come out on consoles that a lot of us don't ever obtain. In the case of Ori and the Blind Forest, it came out back in 2015, but it was exclusive on the Xbox One, which made me pretty much give up hope of ever having the chance to play this beautiful 2D platforming adventure. I had all but forgotten about the game until the recent announcement of the sequel at E3 2017, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Having the game brought back to the forefront of my mind after watching a very powerful teaser trailer for the sequel, I happened to look online and saw that the game was now available on PC. I'm a bit late to the party here as the game has been available on PC for about a year, but hey, better late than never, right? I now had my chance to check out the world of Ori. Ori and the Blind Forest was developed by Moon Studios, which is based in Vienna, Austria. Ori was published by Microsoft, which means that it's an exclusive title for Xbox One. Lucky for me, the game was made available on PC as well, so I played the game on my PC through Steam. The story of Ori is almost that of a folktale. A tree known as the Spirit Tree has summoned Ori, a little cat-like sprite creature, to live in the forest. Ori forms a relationship with a character named Naru, and they have a great life together, eating fruit and snuggling. However, a curse falls upon the forest and wipes out much of the life within it. Ori was called during this time to help save the forest, but ignored the Spirit Tree. Because of this, even their home is destroyed. Now, after all the damage has been done, it's up to Ori alone to help bring the forest back to life. Ori will accomplish this by traversing a vast world which is full of dangerous enemies. With the help of a huge map, you'll make your way around restoring the great trees of the forest. However, there is a giant bird that is constantly pursuing Ori's every move, so he's going to have to be careful. Let's talk about the obvious thing about Ori and the Blind Forest first, and that is that this game is just striking. I absolutely love the look of Ori in the forest in which he lives. Too bad the forest is blind, it probably would have liked to see this game, right? Am I right? You'll travel through swamps, mystical forests, damp undergrowth, and volcanoes, but no matter how perilous the journey is, it always looks beautiful. The characters created within this world also have a very unique look and seem like they belong there in this beautiful but scary world. The characters and the environments all seem fully realized and take on a life of their own. You can tell that a lot of love and care went into crafting these things. They feel like they were inspired by beautifully animated movies from the 80s and 90s and will really hit home for anyone who is a fan of those films. But even if you're not a fan, I think that you'll agree that the game looks amazing. So, you get it, the game looks great, but how does it play? Well, it plays great. Ori has the pleasure of being one of those games where what you do in it just feels really good. When you jump and attack, it feels responsive, and when you use an ability to cross a gap or solve a puzzle, it's really satisfying. There are three apparent things that make the game feel this way. One is Ori's abilities, the second thing is the physics, and the last is the animations created for Ori. Ori's abilities are always fun to use, but the animation that is triggered by them really makes them feel good, and the physics and weight of Ori when the abilities are used just feel perfect. It sounds like a really weird thing to say, but when you push the button to jump, you feel like Ori is actually jumping, and you're not just completing an action that you told him to do. When Ori dashes, you feel like he's actually dashing through the air. There's a certain weighty feel with being a small creature in a huge forest that I feel Moon Studios has captured here, and it is outstanding. This is such a hard thing to get right in a video game, and they nailed it. Ori's abilities are found by exploring the world and finding different smaller trees that imbue you with the power to do amazing things. These abilities can then be upgraded through a skill tree throughout the game as well, by collecting experience from enemies and orbs found along the way. Ori's abilities are a little different from what you might expect, which I think makes the game stand out from other games of the same ilk. There are no guns here, so Ori's main attack is almost like a vicinity attack. If you're close to an enemy, you tap the attack button, and more or less just concentrate on dodging. As long as the enemy is close to Ori, you don't have to aim at all. This might sound odd, but it works really well, and despite that, the real focus in this game is actually platforming. So much so that even some of your platforming abilities double as attacks. Now considering this, the bulk of the challenge in Ori comes from the platforming, not fighting. That's not to say that the game isn't challenging, it is. You'll jump, wall jump, double jump, glide, and fling yourself through all kinds of perilous areas in the game, and sometimes all combined within the same movement. It's not uncommon to find yourself doing a double jump, then a dash, then a bash, then a wall jump or a wall climb up to the next ledge. This is actually how most of the boss encounters work, where you're basically using everything you've learned up to that point to traverse a long, difficult platforming section and make it to the other end. This can get really difficult at times. However, I never had any moments of the game where I was sick with frustration. There were quite a few moments where I loudly said, "Ah, come on!" Even so, I always wanted to retry and get past that area because I just knew I could do it. A lot of that can be attributed to what I mentioned earlier, the perfect weighty feel of Ori in this world. It feels so good to control Ori and to platform around that at times I found myself distracted from the main story. I just wanted to try and link moves together to see where I could reach or what I could do, and I was surprising myself at what I could accomplish. With this challenging platformer comes a very welcomed way to save your progress as well. Ori has the ability to create soul links, which basically work as a self-made checkpoint and as your skill tree. You can create these anywhere there isn't a lot of enemy activity on screen, so really, it's on you if you forget to save your progress. Being a checkpoint, no matter where you might fail or die, you will always be returned to wherever you created your last soul link. I love the idea that you can create a quick save almost anywhere in the game and come back to it later, as the game will start you out right where your soul link was created when you return. Who would have thought? An idea that was used in old PC games in the 90s feels fresh and new again. Needless to say, I really enjoyed my time with Ori and the Blind Forest. I'm really glad that this game came to PC because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to experience it at all. After finishing it, the idea that I might have missed it really hits home and makes me think of what else I might be missing not owning certain consoles. Exclusivity for games is a very strange situation for gamers, but that's a topic for another time. As far as Ori and the Blind Forest is concerned, the game is a gem, and it should be played by anyone who is a Metroid or Castlevania fan, or someone who enjoys a challenging 2D platformer, or maybe just someone who enjoys a beautiful looking and beautifully crafted game. Thanks for watching, everybody. Of course, you can also check out all the other episodes of GGRC, or even check out my other show, The Quake Rave, where I play through all kinds of different Quake maps and mods. Enjoy!